So in today's conversation on the Elle-Sera podcast, we had Melissa from LIVVE. She has her own online pharmacy. She's a menopause expert, and we talked everything today about HRT, about weight loss drugs, about loads of different prescription drugs. We talked about Elle-Sera, we talked about blood work, and everything that you would need to know about somebody going through the menopause right now. It's great. Don't miss it. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Really good. Thanks for having me here today.
No, you're absolutely welcome. It's my pleasure to have you on. So I've been asked so many questions that I want to ask you today. But first of all, can you introduce yourself? Tell me who you are and what you do.
So I'm Melissa. I'm a pharmacist. I've been a pharmacist for... Sorry.
Come a bit closer for me, that'd be better.
I've been a pharmacist for over 20 odd years. I started working in a pharmacy when I was 15, and pharmacy's always been my passion. I've been a prescriber for 15 years, and then I started looking into menopause. I opened my own pharmacy about a year ago, and it's a menopause pharmacy. And then I met you through our friend Carrie, who's got Renee K.
Yeah.
And then that's how we're here today.
Fabulous. So your pharmacy, is it online? How do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so it's an online clinic. So I wanted something that was easy, accessible, affordable. And we realised that loads of people couldn't get appointments through the GP. They didn't want to have face-to-face appointments. They wanted something that they could maybe do discreetly. So it's online. They book an appointment at a time to work for them. And then we do a consultation. It's about 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
And do you do that like video chat or on the phone?
Video chat.
Okay.
So it's a video consultation with me, or at the moment it's Bushra, who's our other consultation pharmacist. We're both British menopause trained. And then we've also got the pharmacy too. So we deliver the medication for them too at the same time. So
is it just strictly menopause, or if somebody came to you with other issues, is it like a clinic? Is it a pharmacy where you walk in and go, oh, hi, I've got like a rash. Can you give me something for it? No. Or is it just strictly a menopause clinic?
So what we realised as we spoke to Gen M, so we're both partners with Gen M as well, aren't we? So,
and Gen M, by the way, for the ladies who are listening who don't really know what Gen M is a collective of thought leaders and businesses that are all trying to make the menopause experience better for everybody. It's absolutely fabulous. It's run by two of my most favourite women, Sam and Heather, who I'm definitely having on the podcast. Absolutely love them. Aren't they just powerhouses?
They're amazing. So good.
And just
in fact, we've got so much to talk about. We'll come to them later. Actually.
Yeah, they're absolutely brilliant. Yeah. And what they're doing for women in the menopause space is it's groundbreaking, really. Yeah. So it's great that we've got that in common too.
So Gen M highlights obviously there's 48 symptoms of the menopause. So when we're doing the consultation, we don't just talk about hot flushes, anxiety. We don't just prescribe HRT. We can prescribe anything for the 48 symptoms. So some people have got dry, itchy skin. So if we don't just need to prescribe HRT, we can prescribe something for the skin, for the acne, for the bloatedness. So we can just hone in on the symptoms. And because we're prescribing pharmacists, we can prescribe something just for those symptoms. So we can tailor make whatever people need for those symptoms, and we can prescribe that. And we've got the pharmacy, so we can prescribe for that and deliver for that symptom too.
Okay. So, I mean, a lot of people like to do the natural thing. Yeah. Okay. So they're like quite dead against like taking loads of medicines, especially if you've got like 48 different symptoms. You don't want to be on 48 different kinds of treatment for each different thing. And really the root cause of it is you're getting older, your hormones are dropping. This is a natural part of life. And yet we are using big pharma and big pharmaceuticals to fix the problem that is completely natural. It's as natural as puberty. And there's a lot of people who really disagree with the menopause being medical now.
Yeah.
What would you say to that? Or do you think...
And again, no, this is why we're here. And it's so good because we can spend at least 30, 40 minutes speaking to everybody. And we discuss all different options. So many women don't want, like you say, big pharma. They don't want medicines. They want natural supplements, and they want to manage it through diet, through lifestyle, through exercise, and through natural remedies, which again, so many of our patients look at options like Elle-Sera.
Yeah.
They look at options like rescue remedy, they look at vitamins, they look at herbal options. So they want to explore everything. And we go through the risks and benefits of all different types of medicines too. And we leave them with a tailored treatment plan at the end of it. And then at the end, we give them time to think about their options too.
Yeah.
So some people decide at the end that they do want HRT. Some people decide that they're going to change their lifestyle. And then they come back to us in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So they've got loads of options at the end.
Yeah.
But we've got that time. GPs just haven't got the time. They've got 5 minutes in a consultation. And some people haven't, some GPs aren't trained. They're not even trained in menopause, never mind the risks and benefits of HRT. So it's great that we've got that time to spend with them.
Yeah, and that is a luxury, I suppose, that most women are looking for. A lot of the women that come to our inbox are completely at their wits' end and they don't know who to turn to. And that's why it was great when I met you and I thought, oh, brilliant, because I often get this question. A lot of our customers will sit there and say, well, who can I speak to? I want to get my bloods tested. And do you do any blood tests? You do blood work and things like that?
And blood work's one of those things that we say, some women need it. So there's loads of different women for different options that we look at blood work. So some want it just for curiosity.
Yeah.
So I guess it's really important. Let's start with what is perimenopause, what's menopause.
Yeah.
Some women don't even understand the difference between what those things are.
What is the perimenopause then?
That's a really good one actually, because we speak to a lot of women that are late 40s and we do some pop-up shows talking about menopause and they say, that's not me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it is.
You're probably over 40. It probably is going to be you.
Yeah. And they're like, oh no, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. And I'm like, it is possibly going to be you. Every woman is going to go through perimenopause, menopause at some stage. So at least be aware of the symptoms.
Yeah.
Because menopause is one day in your life when you've stopped having periods for 12 months. And every one of us goes through that. Perimenopause can last for 10 years before that. And that's when we have the symptoms of anxiety, hot flushes, low libido. That's a massive one. Migraines for some women. There's so many symptoms. There's all the 48 symptoms that we've talked about. They can last for 10 years before you get to the menopause. And that can start from the late 30s for some women. And they're the women that we see quite a lot of. And some GPs won't even look at you until you're 45. So we see,
and we know
of
this. I read all the time. There's women who are going through it. We're like 35.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
37, 38. Yeah. And their parents had gone through it, or their mother had gone through it at a younger age. So I agree. You know, it's not a one size fits all. It doesn't happen like you hit 43 and now you're perimenopausal.
100%.
And you should be aware of it's like it could be the perimenopause and you could be going through it a lot younger than you are.
And they're the ones, especially the younger ones, that don't always want to start looking at hormonal treatment straight away. They're the ones that want to look at all the other options before they possibly start hormonal treatment. So they're the ones that we spend a lot of time speaking to and talking about all the options. So it's great to have options to talk about, especially to the perimenopausal women, because they don't even realise that these symptoms are hormonal symptoms. So blood tests are really important to consider. So blood tests look at FSH. So FSH is the one indicator that you are possibly going through the menopause. So when that's over 30...
For anyone who doesn't know what FSH is, it's follicular stimulation hormone.
That's right, sorry. So that's the one indicator that you are going through the menopause. And if you're under 40 and you are going through the menopause early, that is the one blood test that we can look at to say, actually, there's a chance that you might not be able to conceive. So some women that might want to conceive under 40, we can look at doing that blood test then, because they might want to conceive still. So sometimes it's curiosity, but generally, symptoms alone, we can just generally tell, actually, we can treat you, we can help you. These are your symptoms. Let's get some help for you. These are your options. Then once we start treatment for women, we can look at estrogen levels, we can look at testosterone levels, we can look at progesterone levels, because these are the three main hormones that are going through your bodies that we tend to look at. Do you know much about the different hormones?
Little bit, but let's touch on it. Yeah. So everybody always says, estrogen is the female hormone and testosterone is the male hormone. I completely disagree with that. Testosterone is so at the forefront of my mind. It's the one that really women really want and should be doubling down on. Why it is not legal to give it out in the UK, I do not know.
I think we're going to get there pretty soon because
I do.
We're doing more and more. We're prescribing quite a lot of testosterone in the clinic now. So testosterone isn't currently licensed to prescribe in the UK.
So how do you prescribe it then?
Because as prescribers, myself and Bush are prescribers, and as prescribers, we are allowed to prescribe it in the UK. It's just not a licensed product.
Right.
We prescribe Androfem, which is regulated. They are regulated products. So that one is licensed in Australia. And British Menopause Society has done a lot of research on it. So we do prescribe it in our clinic. We have to do a blood test before to get your baseline measurement, and we do another blood test at 3 months as well. But we are finding so many women, I'd say probably 95% of the women that we do blood tests on are low in testosterone.
Yeah, like it's crazy. And that's the one, it will keep you lean, your cognitive function better, your bone mass better, energy level better, your libido better.
Yeah.
Like, it'll stave off that vaginal dryness. This is the reason, well, I'll go into Elle-Sera on why it's fantastic again this week. But we can talk about that later. But I'm a big champion of testosterone.
Me too.
Whether it's coming from a natural source or something that can help lift it or release your free testosterone levels. I'm a big fan of that too, using herbal adaptogens. But I was only having this conversation about testosterone today, and a friend of mine's girlfriend is going through it, and he asked me about the testosterone pellets. You know, the ones that they put them in your bum cheek, basically.
I don't know about those.
Right, okay, it's like a grain of rice.
Oh.
I'm not a fan of this.
Where did they get those from?
Well, I went to a clinic in London. I won't mention the name of the clinic, but I went to a clinic in London, and bearing in mind I was 35 when he suggested this. He said, "Why don't you take some testosterone?" Because I was trying to lose weight at the time. I'd just come back from the island. I'd lost loads of weight, but then because I'd dropped significant amounts of weight, when I started eating normally again, I put on loads because my body's metabolic function was just gone crazy. Long story short, he wanted to put a testosterone pellet in my bum, right, for $5,000. But he said he'd give it me for free as long as I promoted it. And I was like, I don't know about this. This sounds a bit mental, mate. I thought, no, I'm not doing this. I'm 35 years old. I'm not going to stop messing around with my hormones. And plus, once that pellet's in, it's in.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? It's like you can't get it out, So I was like, right, okay. Anyway, so I didn't go ahead with it. This is ultimately what led to the birth of Elle-Sera, because I was looking into other ways to boost testosterone, etc. But I was talking to my friend about this. So I'm not a big fan of these testosterone pellets. So so your Androfem.
Androfem.
Is
so
that
that's
a gel?
cream. It's a cream.
Okay.
You put it on, small amount, pea-size amount every day, rub it into the skin, upper arm or on the thigh. And it absorbs into the skin and goes into the bloodstream, and that's it.
And then, so obviously there's an optimum level of testosterone. There's an also optimum ratio of estrogen, testosterone and progesterone.
Yeah.
And once you start putting in testosterone, your body will naturally stop making it if you're putting it in exogenously. Is that correct? Or at least reducing making it.
No, so as we get older, our bodies just stop producing it anyway, which is why we need to replace it. And that's just part of the menopause anyway. But going back to the estrogen part though, so what we try and do first is we try and increase everybody's estrogen levels.
Yeah.
Because that naturally increases your testosterone levels.
Yeah.
So we do that first.
Okay.
And hopefully symptoms improve, libido increases, and most women feel better from that. So we do a blood test after that anyway. And sometimes we see a slight increase from that. If we don't, then we start to supplement with testosterone. Hopefully we see symptoms increase. If we don't, then we don't prescribe anymore.
And what about progesterone?
So progesterone, that doesn't actually give you any symptom relief. That is purely to stop the thickening of the lining of the womb from getting too thick, because that can lead to endometrial cancer.
Yeah. And issues. Yeah.
So we prescribe that in clinic. And I have the Marina coil because that's just inside you and then that's there for 5 years. Or there's different ways you can prescribe it. You can have it as a patch, you can have it as capsules. It's different ways for different women. But it's there mainly because as we add in estrogen, it can thicken the lining. So we just need it as a protective factor more than anything else.
Right, okay. So I'm always like a bit skeptical sometimes with blood work because especially if people aren't doing enough blood work. So this is always my issue with a lot of over-the-counter HRT that you can just go into Boots and buy now. You actually do need to have your blood work done, but it needs to be done at particular days. And also that blood work is just a snapshot in time, isn't it? So do you then look back over the blood work and say, okay, well, your estrogen level is back where it needs to be now. You're on the right dose for where it is.
Yeah.
Or because a lot of people say, oh my God, my symptoms were terrible. And I thought, well, maybe you're on the wrong dose or maybe it's not the right one for you.
So that's something we're really specific about in the clinic. And again, this is what's different to the GPs. So we look at your blood work every 3 to 6 months if we're looking at estrogen levels. So estrogen levels are what we hone in on. So if you're still not feeling great, we tweak your estrogen levels every 3 to 6 months and we increase that. Mm-hmm. So we probably go above and beyond what the NHS guidelines would be.
Yeah.
Because they're so strict with their formularies, whereas we don't have a formulary.
Yeah.
So we can, if you're not feeling great, we just increase your estrogen because that's normally what the symptoms are based on.
Okay.
Whereas your GP will probably see you once a year and they'll stick to the standard formulary, whereas we don't have to do that. And that's the good thing with private healthcare as well. We can change that formula, we can change your patch, we can change your gels, we can change whatever you need to. And we're there all the time. So the one thing I wanted to provide was a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
So the other private healthcares, you've got your private GP and then you have to take your prescription to another pharmacy. We've got a one-stop shop where we've got your consultation with your pharmacist and we've got the pharmacy there. It's all under one roof.
Yeah.
So if you've got any problems, we're here all the time so we can tailor make your prescription to fit in with whatever you need. We're always there to answer the phone. So if you don't know how to apply your patch, you don't know how to use your gel, we're there. Whereas the GPs were often finding that they didn't know what was out of stock. They didn't know what was going on with your gel, but they couldn't answer the question because it was the pharmacy that had dispensed it. So patients were getting lost in the middle.
And you say it's private healthcare, and I think people think when they think private healthcare, oh my God, this is going to cost me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. So how much do your services cost?
So £75 for consultation. And then for a month's supply of estrogen gel, it's £10 a month. For a month's supply of estrogen, progesterone, it's £10 a month. So we're talking £20 a month for medication.
Yeah.
Which compared to some supplements that are on the market, which I think cost, I don't know, some were costing about £60 a month, but they have no benefits whatsoever and they've got nothing to back them up, no reviews.
Some are cost £150 a month and, don't do a lot. It's just great marketing.
I know. And it's just, it's crazy. Whereas now, if you look on our website, the reviews are coming through and it's regulated medicines that actually work, that do something, and you know that we're always there to help. So yeah.
What about the people who can't take HRT?
So this is again why we are now working with people like yourselves with other products that can support us, like Better You, which is also now another Gen M collective brand, so that we can get other products onto the website that support specific problems and issues so that we can target them. So we can help with the symptoms. So we have got some patients that have got cancer, so they can't take HRT. So we're working with physios or we're working with counsellors so that we can direct these patients to the right supplements or the right counsellors or the right healthcare professionals so that we can still have the really good, useful conversations with people, but we can then direct them to the right people, the right places. We can have the right links on the website, because our website's really useful, really helpful, and we can then direct people to the right places as well.
I think people think that HRT, I mean, I have to take my hat off to the pharmaceutical industry. They have done an outstanding PR job for HRT. And I know you definitely fly the flag for it. I'm a bit more on the fence about it. I do think it's not for everybody. It's a quick win in a lot of scenarios, but I'm so hell-bent on fixing people's lifestyle first.
Definitely.
Because you can really relieve
I agree with that,
a lot of things. And it also doesn't fix nutritional deficiencies. It doesn't fix the fact that you wanting to get pissed all the time, and that's not going to help, and the fact that you're not maybe working out and things like that. So I'm all about that. You know, when you get your blood work back, do you go through nutritional deficiencies as well?
No, we do that before. So in the consultation, we've got, this is part of the IT that we did, and I'm a massive tech fan. I'm a massive geek when it comes to digital. So we created
I am not, but yeah.
so we created the platform, and that's how we've built the model, really, and that's why we've managed to bring the cost down. So we created the platform to add in loads of questions, and a lot of the questions that we ask are all about your health, your lifestyle, your BMI, how much alcohol you drink. And we spend a lot of time on those questions, because they can all affect your mood, your anxiety, how you're doing. And when those answers are quite high, we spend a lot of time going through that, because if they're not right, then no amount of HRT is going to fix any of that.
Well, absolutely. If you've got a diet of processed junk, you don't move a muscle, you don't sleep very well, you're not getting any sunlight, you're not exercising, your heart rate's never getting up.
Oh, yeah.
You're drinking alcohol all the time. No amount of HRT is going to fix that. It's not, it is not a magic bullet.
Exactly. And I think, again, that's what they really value in the conversations, because you can't have those chats with your GP. They can't have those chats sometimes with their partner, with their friends. So I think we have some really, really good conversations with our patients, because we can actually have, as pharmacists, really good conversations about diet, lifestyle, alcohol, that are just honest, genuine conversations about that too.
I mean, for a lot of anxiety, I mean, I could pull up so many studies about a lot of depression and anxiety can be caused through omega-3 deficiency. But it'd be nice to get blood work done that would show kind of like all your nutritional, like, you know, values, you know, and then maybe build out a picture in that way. Because again, most women I chat to, I mean, they talk to me about supplements. Even if they take supplements, they're not taking good ones.
Yeah.
They're taking absolutely, half of the pill that they're taking is brick dust. And I just think you're not even taking good ones.
So tell me again, exactly. I know you've told us you did you came to our event and it was amazing.
Oh my God, it was
like, you came, so we did this event. I just need to just let everyone
recap everybody.
Recap everyone. We did a Well Woman event in Leeds, and Elissa came, and you blew everybody away because you were so unprepared, but you were the one that blew everyone away, and you told everyone about your magic golden pill, and everybody wanted it, and so many people bought it actually.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And I saw one lady today, and she said it's changed her life. She's now feeling so much better. The anxiety's gone, her mood's lifted, and she's a really honest, genuine person, and she's the one person that, if anything, she'd tell me it was absolute crap, but she didn't. She said she genuinely feels like such a better mum, a better human. She's having great sex again. Her husband loves her. So.
Oh, I love this. Oh my God. You know what? I've always wanted to be like the Jackie Collins of the health industry. And I always say on my tombstone, it will read, she gave a lot of people a lot of pleasure.
So no, she's really, really happy. So thank you from her. She's really happy. So just run me through everything that's in it again and remind me
of why it's so magic and fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So 2 of the dominant ingredients are maca extract. Again, great extract. I mean, maca's an absolute powerhouse of an adaptogen, real superfood, very robust information, very robust studies behind it. Been used for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years for hormonal help, fertility in men and women. Studied a lot, and it's just fantastic. And I've always loved it. I've loved it for years. Love maca.
What else is it in? What do you get?
Well, you don't get it in anything.
Oh, right,
it's just
amazing.
like it is.
Okay.
So it comes from Peru. It lives high in. It comes from a plant in Peru that looks like a yam. Lives high up in the mountains, and that's why it can cope with a lot of stress. This plant, and that's why it's such a great adaptogen. So maca has the unique ability to, if your cortisol is low, it will bring it up.
Oh, right.
If it's high, it will bring it down.
Fab.
And it will adapt that way. So maca. The critical point is with any supplement is the devil is in the dosage. You will know this yourself. And the dosage is what will kill you as well. So you need to know what the dosage is. And we use, so everything that we say about maca, like it's going to improve your sex drive, that's taken from clinical studies, but we put the same amount in as what was used in the clinical studies. Now, many supplement companies will go out there and they will say, oh, we use maca, it's great for sex drive, but they will use a whisper of it. It isn't going to do anything.
Right.
It's not going to do anything. It's not going to change anything. So you're not going to feel the effects of it or the benefit of it. So we've got maca in there in a great dosage. It's the dominant ingredient in the pill. Then we've got Tribulus terrestris, one that no one's ever heard of, especially females haven't heard of it. It's like a yellowy, spiky plant. And it's usually traditionally given to men. And you'll see a lot of like bodybuilders use it because it can help with energy, endurance, performance, and helps with testosterone. Now, it doesn't give you testosterone. Nothing can give you testosterone apart from testosterone. But what it can do is help your free testosterone levels. So it will unlock it from the sex hormone binding globulin and then circulate more testosterone into your bloodstream so it's available to use. That's why sex drive goes up and your client is telling you that she's having the best sex ever. Okay. That's why. Cognitive function will go up. You've released the testosterone that's inside you, available to use. That's what Tribulus does. Again, I looked at clinical studies and I used exactly the same amount as what was used in clinical studies. And that is important to note. We also use ginkgo. Love ginkgo. It's a fabulous herb for the brain. It's fabulous for so many things. Energy, performance, blood. But again, a lot of people use it in studies for memory. Very good for your memory. You see a lot of brain health.
And that's that's one of the worst symptoms for perimenopause and menopause.
The brain fog. Yeah. And ginkgo is amazing for that. Siberian ginseng is one of my absolute favourite adaptogens. Siberian ginseng, again, so adaptable, but it's mellow. So there's lots of different types of ginseng, but you can get like Panax ginseng. And when I take that, let's say I wanted to have like a very difficult meeting or something like that, I would take a Panax ginseng because it makes me a bit more aggressive. Or if I wanted to have maybe like a killer workout in the gym and I needed to bring that aggression in, or I needed to like lift heavy or whatever it might be, I'd be taking that type of ginseng. But Siberian ginseng that's in Elle-Sera gives you great energy lift, so much better than a coffee. I do go on about Siberian ginseng so much on my Instagram page. It'd be too much to go into now, but you don't get the crash. So if you take 2 Elle-Sera tablets in the morning, by about 3 o'clock, that energy would have wore off, but you will never feel that crash that you do from a coffee. It's brilliant, absolutely lovely. It's very, very good for the herpes complex virus. So a lot of people who use our product say they don't get an outbreak, or if they do, it's very minimal. And then the last thing that's in it is beetroot, because obviously one of the things that the pill does and that we sell it on sometimes is sex drive and low libido, and it will help. And one of the big things you want to do is get blood to the area. That's like one of the main things you need to do, whether you're male or female, you need to get blood down there. So we put in beetroot because that is a vasodilator and it will open up the capillaries and allow that blood to freely move around the body.
Nice.
It's a powerhouse of a blend. I absolutely love it. I really like, you asked me this before, you like, do you take Elle-Sera? I'm like, oh my God, religiously. Like, there's no one who takes it more than me, like religiously, like every day, sometimes twice a day.
And when did you start taking it?
So I've been using these adaptogens. Before I made it into one pill, I was taking these things, you know, myself anyway. I knew that they worked. And I take other stuff. You know, I take magnesium, I take omega-3, I take collagen, take loads of other stuff. My disposable income goes on supplements and blow dries and supplements. And I really, really wanted to bring this to life. There was one customer who said to me, what would you recommend for low libido? And of all the people that could have said this to me, this was a retreat client of mine, she would have been the last person I would have thought would have come to me for sex advice. And I thought, wow, if she's thinking that, maybe other women are thinking this. And then I used to look at all the data, the Google data, and realize that this was a bigger issue than I actually first thought about. And that's why I started looking into it. But for myself, I really liked Tribulus. Really, it got me lean. Very lean. And it kind of, if you take it on an empty stomach, it really kind of like kills your appetite for a bit as well. So it can really help with fasting and things like that. I mean, I love it. You don't need to get any lean. What are you talking about? Are you joking me? Are you
holiday coming up? I need to get back on it.
No, you really don't.
Wow. So do you think you've been feeling perimenopausal symptoms? Because you're too young.
Yeah, no, I'm too young now.
Yeah,
I don't
but do you just take it for feeling?
Listen, we have ladies who are 18 who take it. So anyone from 18 to 80 we've got.
You can't, it's got no interactions with any medicines or getting pregnant or?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
We don't recommend it if you're pregnant.
Okay.
Just because there's not enough robust data on it for me to say yes or no. But so I was just saying straight no.
Yeah.
Same with breastfeeding, just say straight no. So I had to stop when I was pregnant and breastfeeding. And then, of course, there's interactions with everything.
Can you take it with HRT?
Yes, I think so. Okay. Right. So I don't think so. What I mean is, yes, you can take it, but I'm always wary of saying that because, as you know, every HRT is different and every woman is different. So I always say to them, yes, you can, but, you know, if you start feeling any adverse symptoms or whatever, then obviously, you know, bear that in mind.
I'll try it out for you. See what
but we
happens.
have actually, the majority of our customers do both.
Yeah.
I mean, all our wealth of Trustpilot reviews, they're doing both. So yeah.
Oh, exciting.
It's really good.
You've had such good feedback on it. I think it's brilliant. No, that's really fab.
Have you tried it yourself?
Yeah, I did try. Do you know what? So my boys, I've got two boys, Zach and Seb, and because they'd seen all the stuff that you'd sent with it, all the product literature, and they're like, Mummy, you make sure you take these because it says that you'll stop being moody and it says that you'll. So I'd ran out of them actually, so I need to order some more. And they said, Mummy, you've stopped taking those golden pills. You really need to start taking them again. They were great. They were really fab. And also the other stuff with it, it's just such a great product and all the packaging that comes with it. It's just. All of it is just, it's such a luxurious
there's
product.
A lot of thought that goes into it. Nothing happens by accident. You know, every single, bit of cardboard that you see has been laboured over. The gold you see has been laboured over.
When I opened it, it was just like, it was like the most beautiful, gorgeous thing that arrived. And I was like, this is such a luxury to have. It was really nice. So I need to fill my pot again.
You need to fill your pot up. Yeah, absolutely. It's I like to make my ladies feel special. As well.
You do feel really special. You get that feeling when you get it. It is that.
Yeah. Okay. So if I wanted to get in touch with you, how would I get in touch with you?
So
what's the name of your company?
LIVVE.
Okay.
It's really funny. So we get phone calls and it's like, is it LIVVE? Is it live? Is it live? I called it live because...
LIVVE.
Yeah, because you want to feel alive again. You want to feel like you're living again because I felt really flat at one point and then...
How old are you, Melissa?
43.
Okay. So would you say that you're going through perimenopause?
Yeah, I definitely was. My mum went through the menopause at 40.
Right.
And it was the migraines for me and just feeling the brain fog. And I'm quite academic, and I felt like I just stopped feeling that. I just lost that buzz again.
Yeah.
And then when I started using testosterone and estrogen again, I just felt back alive again. And I was like, right, I'm back in the room. I can perform again. I can work again. I can function again. I'm not being grumpy with the kids again. I just felt like I was back to being myself again. And I just thought, I want other women to feel this way again.
Yeah.
And also all the other websites and all the other Instagrams were just so bleh. They were just so airy-fairy. They were full of grey women that were just in their 60s,
Well, I absolutely
70s.
bloody hate the way the menopause is marketed. It's
so
like these
awful.
old frazzled women in a bloody purple cardigan going like that.
It was
looking
awful.
miserable, and I couldn't.
Couldn't relate with it.
No.
And I said, this is me now, and it's all my friends. And all the marketing was just not that. And I said, we need to stop that. We need to cut the crap on this. We need to brighten it up a bit. So I wanted some marketing that was just a bit more alive, a bit more fresh. So that was one thing I needed to change. So that was, I needed to liven it up. So it's, the Instagram's a bit fresher, I think. And
you also need to talk in the language that your customers are talking in. I mean, we are a bit edgy. We are very kind of like colloquial in the way we talk to our customers. And we try and bring that fresh approach to it, definitely.
Yours was my inspiration. I remember when I was looking for marketing ideas, and my brand team were looking for ideas, and you were on my brand palette for ideas.
Thanks very much.
Which was really good, because I was like, we wanted something bold, we wanted something bright, we wanted something that talked openly, like that related to like, this is what we need to talk about. And Elle-Sera was there with her. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what we want.
Well, my motto is no one talks about it, so let's talk about it.
100%.
And I always think one of the most unsung tools is Google data. Like,
oh, what do you mean?
So nobody utilises this. People they sit in a room, a boardroom, and they think they know what the customers are thinking about. And you might be sat here telling me that you're giving me a particular persona today. This is, you're on camera, you're being filmed, so you're giving me your best side. Do you know what I mean? You're not giving me the full Melissa of what you really think about. And I know that, and I know every customer thinks that. The only true time a person shows their true, honest feelings is when they're sat alone and they're Googling something that's on their mind. They won't even tell a partner half the time. Now that, whatever they're Googling on that, you can get that hold of that information. I'm not talking for each particular person, but that cohort of data is available for you to find. And that is what people want to know. And if you lead with marketing, that actually what women want to know about, I think that, and reflect it back and answer those questions for them. Yeah. So that's what we do a lot. And a lot of it comes from our inbox and our messages.
Yeah.
And I look through and I go, wow, that woman said that, or that woman said that, or that, let's use that in a marketing campaign. It might be one sentence, and that will then become a whole campaign. Let me just tell you this. So and this, you will get this, right? You will relate to this because all your customers will feel this. So, and I was feeling it. So ever since I've had a baby, you will know this yourself. Ever since I've had a baby, the mental load is so much more than my partner's. And you're probably, even though you've got a full-time job, you're the one who's the primary caregiver with the kids. You're the one who knows when they've got football. You're the one who knows what they need to put in the school bag, when they've got a school trip, blah, blah, blah. And you're the one who has to deal with all that, the cooking, the cleaning, the washing the house. The list is endless for women. So we've kind of put that out there on one of our educational pieces, women have it harder. They can't get in a flow state a lot of the time because your head is so buzzing with all these other menial tasks that you've got to do. So I put on there, what's the most mundane task that you do? And out of the back of that, we had 800 replies.
Oh my God.
Of like laundry, balling the socks, cleaning the toilet, picking up the dog poop, whatever it was, right? We got 800 replies. Those replies have now become a whole marketing campaign. We are now shooting next week.
Oh, really?
So I've got, and I'm like, that quickly, I'm like, quick, react to that now. So I've lined up 4 models.
Have you?
Honestly, got a house to shoot it in.
Oh my God, that's great.
A photographer that's incredible. And I'm like, this is what I want to do. And this is all led by my customers' words. And I think that's how you build a brand. That's how you build 100%. A brand that resonates.
Oh, that'll be brilliant.
Yeah, can't wait. I'm really blowing my load on this shoot, by the way.
I want to know what's going on. What? Give us some hints as to what were the top.
So we're going to have some fabulous women. I've got some 4 fabulous models who are my customers. They were all available on that day. That was actually the point. Because we've got loads of customers who volunteer to be models, but are they available on the same day? The photographer, the house, the this, that, the other, and that I can do. So we have to pick and choose which ones we can take. So we're doing this incredible shoot where we're going to be showing these women doing these menial mundane tasks around the house. Good. But it's going to be with a bit of an Elle-Sera edge to it. I
can imagine.
And I can't wait to do that. And this allows me to get creative.
Yeah. And that's where you're great with that.
I want to be with, I mean, I sit there and I don't want to look at spreadsheets and I don't want to pack orders in the office. I can do it and I do it a lot of the time. But no, that's not what I feel my strengths is actually talking to these customers, trying to advise them better, trying to encourage them better. Yes, there's things you can do, but also it's got to be a mindset.
Yeah, definitely.
You're not over the hill. Do not give up. You've got to spend half of your life in menopause.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just then go, oh, well, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed for people who think that.
And do you think you've got a mixture of clients that are menopausal and some that aren't?
Loads.
Yeah.
Absolutely loads. I would only say 60% are probably menopausal or perimenopausal. Yeah. The rest take it for fertility, PCOS, energy levels, weight loss reasons, immunity. We've got 18-year-olds who take it to lighten their periods.
That's really
We've got
good.
16-year-olds who do it the same reasons.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. I would say the menopause section of it's probably a large portion of it, but it's not the only portion of it. Oh. It's a great all-round pill for all women's health. If you're a woman, you have hormones that are more sensitive than a man's, you need something that can really help adapt and balance them, like a pill like ours.
Do you ever hear from the guys at all?
Loads.
Do you?
Loads. So I go to parties, networking events, and I went to one last week and the guy was like, oh my God, can I just say that my wife takes your pills and she is just incredible. She just raves about them. Thank you for giving me my wife back.
Yeah.
Honestly, we hear about that all the time. That. In fact, this could be another marketing campaign where I could do all the guys.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because, the ripple effect, it's not just the woman who's feeling great. It's like everybody in the household who starts feeling great. And you probably feel this too, that when the mother or the wife, or because she's the head of the household, let's be honest, her mood will set the tone in that house and it affects the children,
Yeah, so I had a really good chat with a guy that he's a physio, Chris Ray, he won't mind me mentioning his name, and I'm going to hopefully do some work with him. And we had some really good chats about symptoms. And one was about vaginal dryness, because we talk about that a lot in the clinic.
Yeah.
And he was trying to understand, because he does a lot of massage, actually.
Right.
And he was trying to understand vaginal dryness as a symptom, because that's one we talk about so much. And he couldn't understand how it's not just improved by lubricant. And why can't we just add lubricant?
Well, because it's not just that. It's it expands,
So
as well.
So a lot of...
Are we talking about intercourse here or not?
No.
Right,
so
okay.
We prescribe, so vaginal dryness as we get older and as we go through menopause, so many women think it's cystitis or they think it's thrush.
Yeah.
And they try and improve it by using cystitis treatments and they try and improve it by using thrush treatments. But actually they're never going to work. And it's so painful. It ends up being like cuts and razor blades.
Yeah.
And all you actually need to use is vaginal estrogen. So this is one thing actually that you don't actually need HRT for.
Yeah.
So I think you mentioned earlier, you talked about you can buy HRT just from Boots now.
Yeah.
But it's not HRT, it's just topical HRT.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually improve any of the symptoms like mood swings or hot flushes or anything.
Yeah.
It's only localised. But it instantly takes away those symptoms of vaginal dryness.
Right.
So many women are not having sex and they're not having intercourse because the vaginal dryness is so bad and they think it's cystitis and they think it's thrush. They've been trying these treatments for like 6 months to a year. All they need is a vaginal pessary of estrogen. Instantly takes it away. So we've had so many conversations. I'd say about 80% of the women we prescribe vaginal HRT for, and it instantly takes it away.
Right.
So that's one instance where I'd probably say to you, maybe never have HRT.
Yeah.
But that's probably one instance where I'd say actually probably try it for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because locally it works so well.
Right.
Where it probably wouldn't work for anything else.
Right.
But it would work so well for that. So I was having this chat with Chris and he said, I just don't get it. Can't you just add lubricant and it'd just take it away and it'd make it so much better? Can't you just like have a nice massage? Have a candle rub, like make her feel better? I'm like, Chris, it's so fucking painful that nothing would make it feel better.
Especially if it's like a water-based lubricant, that would it would dry out and then it would be even worse. You know what I mean? I was actually having this conversation about lubricants with my hairdresser, like while he was doing my hair about an hour ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he was suggesting one to me and I was like, he's a gay man. And he suggested this lubricant to me and he was like, it's amazing, blah, blah, blah. He told me the most horrific story about...
oh no, what was he saying?
Maybe I should invite him on the podcast to tell everyone himself. He was telling me about this lubricant he used, which is silicone-based, which you can't use with silicone sex toys. And he had a mishap with one of his sex toys. I can't go into it. My dad listens to this podcast.
You can't leave us hanging there.
And he was saying, no, because everybody knows who a hairdresser is. But anyway, he had a mishap with one of his sex toys because you can't use I didn't know this, but you can't use silicone-based lubricant with silicone sex toy. It
disintegrates.
Disintegrates.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So just, be mindful of that, ladies.
All right.
So and there's lots of other lubricants. I've actually done a blog on it on our website. We talk about which are the best ones, but also you've got to be very careful what you put down there. It's got a really delicate balance. The pH balance has got to be really delicate. So, I mean, I keep seeing loads of different things like loads of kinds of different washes, loads of like these kind of probiotic things. Yeah. And I'm just like, it's just so unnecessary.
Yeah. And we have some that we prescribe or that we have in the pharmacy. And we do talk about them, but really, once you've got the estrogen back in there again, it makes a massive difference.
Right.
Ugh. But
if you're not going through menopause and you wanted to kind of tune up your body a bit, let's say I'm not going through menopause, I'm 37. I take Elle-Sera religiously, but let's say I didn't want to. Let's say I wanted to tune up my body, my physique in a different way.
What do you mean by tune up?
Okay, so let's say I wanted to step on stage or like be a bit more muscle dense. Okay. Could I take testosterone?
It wouldn't you'd need high doses that you aren't going to get significantly high doses unless you used quite a bit that we wouldn't be able to advise or prescribe.
And then you'd be worried about the side effects of that because too much of a good thing is not a good thing. Or you'd be ended up with a beard, a deep voice.
A large clitoris and...
Enlarged clitoris. Yeah. Well, a lot of female bodybuilders do get that, don't they?
But you would need doses that I wouldn't have a clue how to prescribe or recommend or blood test.
And a lot of it probably has to be injection.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a clue.
No, you can't just be rubbing cream all over yourself. I'm thinking you're going to be like smashing the gym.
No, I've got no clue.
Right, okay.
I'm sure
I know people who do it.
Yeah,
I definitely know people who do it.
But then you'd have to eat right, train right. And
of course. Yeah, to change any of your body composition, lift really heavy. You still need to tear the muscle and repair it and to change your body composition. Yeah, it's no easy feat.
No.
So are you just a menopause clinic?
So, things that are coming up in the future, actually. So now that we have, when did we go live? We went live in October. And the reason I wanted to set up the clinic was because I've got, because mainly to increase access and affordability. I think I mentioned that before, that a number of my patients from my previous practice, I've got my aesthetics clinic, and so many of my patients just couldn't access menopause clinics because they were too expensive. The waiting list for the GPs was too expensive. So I wanted something that was more accessible and affordable. So we set up LIVVE in October. So it was £75 instead of £250, which is what the other clinics charge. But now that we've been open, we've realised that a lot of the patients want other things now. So I called it LIVVE so that we could open it to other things in the future. So it could be for other services. And a lot of the women now are looking for possibly weight loss services.
There's a lot of chat about this Ozempic. What do you think of that?
So Ozempic is supposed to be having its licensed version called Wegovy coming to the UK in the future. Do you know about that one?
Everybody's on it. Allegedly, all the Kardashians, Elon Musk. So, I mean, like everybody I see at the Met Gala must have been on it because they've all lost a significant amount of weight in a very short period of time. And I tell you what, they're not doing what I'm doing, which is 15,000 steps a day.
Really?
I'm trying.
So I'm not anti it at all, actually, to be honest. And as a pharmacist, I just want to make sure that people have it the right way. And we do a weight loss clinic where we've prescribed Saxenda and Ozempic in the past. But as long as it's done properly. So that was the one thing.
If I came to you and said, Melissa, I need some of this, would you give it to me?
No, because your BMI is far too small.
Okay, so is there a regulation around who can have it and who can't have it?
Definitely.
But I bet there's a lot of people who go, yeah, no problem.
There definitely is. Which is why, the one reason why I'd want to do it is because there's so many people not getting it properly and there's so many people selling it on the black market.
Yeah.
And the one reason why I always wanted to do it was because so many of my friends were getting it on the black market and from dodgy sites, which is why I eventually was like, a few years ago, I said, fine, I'm going to do it so that you're not getting it from the dodgy people and from the dodgy sites. So I did set up a weight loss clinic a while ago.
Doesn't that kind of like, for me, it completely negates what I'm all about. I wouldn't do it because the whole point of that drug is to fuck up your hormone, really. So it's kind of like you inject it and then it kills your appetite. So it's turning off like your leptin and your ghrelin, or it's tricking your brain into thinking it's already there. And I always think, no, you are hungry because you might be massive, right? Because you're eating junk and pizza and beer and chips and sitting there eating crisps and you don't frigging move a muscle. That's why you're hungry. So the point is you're still starving on the inside because you haven't got any of the right nutrition in your body, and that's why that hunger signal's still going out. And if you then turn that off, your body's still starving from the inside, but you're going to lose weight on the scale just because you're purely not eating.
Which I totally understand what you're saying, but at some point, some people just need help. And which is where I got to, because I really struggled with it for quite a long time, because especially as a pharmacist, I'm with you. And I'm of that ethos of eat well, sleep well, diet, exercise. But I also have the pharmacist in me where I understand that some people really just struggle. And I go through the whole, have you tried this? Have you tried this?
I mean, for me, I would say, well, let's look back further than that, because you're not deficient in Ozempic. That's not the answer. It's like when people are going on antidepressants, they're not deficient in Prozac. They are just, there's something going on that they're probably not dealing with. Maybe past trauma, maybe, and this is why they're binge eating, they're unhappy with their life, whatever.
But I think
maybe fix that first before we start doing.
Which I understand that, but it's not always that easy for some people. So sometimes if you can get past that, and if you can get people to maybe to 2 stone lighter, then that improves their mood and it helps them. And actually, by lifting that mood, and you see that in some people, then that helps them get to a better place. And like, actually, now I feel so much happier in myself. That actually helps me then get to a better place and I actually feel like a nicer person, a happier person. And because they're doing it through someone who's regulated and who's proper and who's helping them, because we do it as a proper weight management clinic, you're actually doing it as a service. You're not just selling it on the black market. You're not just doing it as a, here, have a pen, I'm never going to see you again. You're doing it as a proper regulated service. You are managing their weight as a, how are you doing? You're seeing them, you're checking in with them, and you are going to stop it at a certain point.
But will they? I don't think they will. And what does it teach them? It teaches them, sorry, you can only lose weight by having this drug.
No, but you have to. So, and because I'm doing it and I check in with them, and then you see their mood improve, and then you actually think, right, we've managed that weight. We make sure that you get you on a proper path again. We get you back onto a diet again. So then, because their mood improves again, we get them back on track again. So it's not a quick, easy fix.
I just feel like because the mass majority of people will now go, oh, well, that's me. I am that, like, maybe 2% of people, or maybe 5% of people, let's be a bit more generous, but 5% of people really can't do it. They haven't got the willpower. They haven't got anything. They've got so much past trauma, and they're the ones that are like, no, that's it. I need this. 5% of people. But the problem is, most people who want to lose a bit of weight will not try everything. They'll just go straight to you and go, I really need to lose a bit of weight. I have tried everything. This is what I need. Can you prescribe it?
But I'd rather they came to me and I could do a proper weight management service with them. And then, or the alternative is they carry on eating junk, or they go on the black market and they get something that isn't a proper weight management service.
I know, I completely understand it. It's like, it's like the lesser of evils, isn't it? All of it. I get it. But I just feel like this is going to be the most successful pharmaceutical drug on the planet, like a country mile.
Apart from Botox.
Apart from Botox, maybe, yeah. But and I think, is it the answer? I mean, they're going to give it to kids now. No, but I think, what the fuck? Like, maybe you should be teaching the parents how to not make the kids like absolutely massive in the first place, where they now need to be dependent on this drug. Maybe we should be doing that. Maybe society's failed somewhere.
I am 100% with you, and I get it. I totally get it. But when you see some people that are really, really, really sad and really struggling, and that's part of our process of the counselling and part of our process of the questionnaire that we go through. And it's like, do you really need it? What have you tried first? How can we help you? What other options? And it's not just a tick a box, order, buy. We do a proper counselling session first.
I mean, don't forget the side effects to it as well, and then you've got to go weigh up the side effects.
Oh, yeah.
So I know a lot of people who've done it. I tried Saxenda a few years ago for a piece of journalism that I did because I was investigating it at the time. And let me tell you, I felt horrendous. Horrendous. I had to go back to bed all day. And I was like a rat bag. I was like, oh my God. Tried it once. I was doing an undercover investigation on to see if they would give it me because I was way too slim for it. Of course they did. And again, I was dead against it then. I'm dead against it now. And I really feel like the education should be there. Like, I can't believe we've got to a point in society where we're just injecting ourselves to lose some fat when actually we should just be trying to educate.
But it's easy for us. It's so easy for us. But when you see people that aren't, and people that really struggle, like really, really struggle, and like you say, they have got trauma and they have got issues, it's not easy, and it's really sad, like really, really sad.
Maybe we should be then promoting discipline and willpower.
But we can't. And when you see people that have got real trauma, it is really sad, and we don't know what's going on in their lives, and we don't know what other issues they've got. And if we can do anything to help them get to a point where actually now you're on a path where you can help yourself, and then it actually makes me really happy that we've got them to a point now you can manage yourself. And I've seen so many people get to that point, and because we're doing it properly, and we're pharmacists, myself and Bushra, and we see them without side effects, we see them manage it safely, we see them get onto a path where they're eating healthily. It's actually really nice, and it's really good. And
then they get to a certain point, and then they have to stop. They get too low.
Yeah. We never get them. Yeah, definitely. And I've managed patients on Saxenda for a couple of years now, and it's been great seeing them go through the full journey.
Yeah.
But these are people with BMIs that are on 40, 35.
Yeah.
So they've genuinely needed the help, and they've had issues. So.
I mean, there are always people that abuse it. I mean, I know so many women who are very low weight who abuse it.
They would never come to me.
They would never come to you, of course.
I mean.
They would go to like all the clinics where they know they can get it, you know.
Yeah.
But I do understand it, and I'm only playing devil's advocate, by the way.
But that's good. I like that. So we've got those. So we've got the weight management, and then we've also got hopefully looking at male testosterone.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard much about
Absolutely.
that.
I know a clinic. I think you know him actually. A guy called Ross Tomkin. He has a clinic, and they are heavy into providing male testosterone. The only one I would be actually interested in personally is growth hormone.
Oh, personally? Oh, really?
Personally.
Why?
Yeah. I do a lot of reading on growth hormone.
Why would you want it?
Well, why wouldn't you? You already have it in your body, and it does decrease. So, you know, isn't it just like the same as any other hormone? You putting it back in.
I don't know enough about growth hormone for women.
It looks fabulous. it looks. I don't think you can get hold of that in this country. Again, it needs to be regulated. But I mean, the info on that is fantastic. Like really good. I mean, they say a lot of Hollywood starlets are on it. And you can tell, especially the older ladies.
I would skin, doesn't it?
Oh, I would absolutely say that. Allegedly, probably Jennifer Lopez is on it. I would say some of the older actresses.
Need to do some research on that one.
No, growth hormone. Yeah. Again, it scares me because I'm very aware of like, do not mess with your hormones if you don't need to. You know, it is such a delicate hormonal balance that goes on inside your body, and your body knows what to do. Yeah. It really does. Leave it alone. You know, I'm a lot about that. Yeah. Leave it alone. Now, if your body is... Until you need to, or there's something going on metabolically, or your body's so inflamed that everything's out of whack, or there is something going on.
So the one thing I would say about hormones, and in terms of guidelines and nice guidance and advice, is it's a definite plus in terms of, I know you're anti it, but there's definite benefits in research saying that taking HRT, I know we're coming back to HRT.
I'm not anti it, by the way. Definitely not anti it. But I think it's going to be a real quick win for a lot of women. Yeah. I just don't think it's the be all and end all that it's promoted as. And I also think that the people who are putting it on you, a lot of the GPs, they don't know enough about it.
No.
They don't know enough about the lifestyle questions to actually be advising you on it. They're not endocrinologists. And actually what annoys me is that there is not enough information. And now you've got celebrities who are just going HRT, HRT, HRT. And again, they don't know anything about it. So it's kind of, people don't know enough about it to be qualified in talking about. I'm not qualified in talking about it, but what I do know is it's not the answer to everything.
No. So the definite pluses, taking it before your age of 60, it does prevent heart disease, it does prevent osteoporosis, it does improve dementia, it does improve bone density. So there's definite guidance and research to say it's got massive bonuses to taking it before the age of 60. And that is nice guidance. And that is what doctors should be promoting. So as soon as you get to the point where you are stopping, you have reached the point of menopause and your hormones have stopped producing, there's a definite bonus to increasing and replacing the hormones that you've stopped producing. So I do get it that if you've not had any symptoms, you're not feeling anything, but if you are starting to feel something and you have reached that point of over 45, you've stopped having periods, you're not feeling great, don't wait. Don't start to dither. Don't start thinking, I don't really think there's any benefit, because we are seeing more women that are having falls. We've had a lot of women that are breaking bones, and hormones will stop that fracture risk.
Also, weight training will definitely help that too.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We always I go on about this so much on this podcast. But...
yeah, no, definitely. But nothing will stop that hormone replacement.
No.
So improving that will be a massive bonus. Like, you don't want to keep having breaks as you get older. You don't want to... heart disease is a massive thing. That's one of the biggest hospital admissions at the moment. You don't want to increase that risk as you get older. Women are working older and you want to stay in work. You don't want to keep having brain fog. You don't want to keep having hot flushes as you get into work. If you can reduce that risk, the one thing that's going to improve that is HRT. But we do totally get that not all women can have it.
Yeah. Okay.
But it is nice guidance at the end of the day.
So if women wanted to get in touch with you, how would they do it?
Oh, yeah. So website, www.livve.uk, live.uk.
Yeah.
Or on Instagram, it's LIVVE UK.
With the double V?
Yeah, with the double V.
LIVVE UK?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay. Fabulous. Well, I'm sure you'll get lots of women asking you questions. I do recommend you a lot. And I really appreciate you coming down to talk to us today.
Thank you too. And I really want you to send us a link to you too, because likewise, we get so many women asking about you, especially after your visit to Leeds. And I really hope we do another event, please.
Definitely.
I think we need to do one in London. Because,
and I'll prep for it this time.
You don't need to. That winging it was the best one that you did. So thanks.
Thank you.